That key phrase, never judge a book by its cover, is something I made sure that I didn't do when I met AD Suggs for the first time during the Celebration Bowl. I had an opportunity to sit down and interview the FAMU Rattlers AD during the Celebration Bowl, and I got to be honest with you. The conversation that I had with Miss Suggs got me to scratching my head a little bit. Because, you know, when you sit down and have conversations with individuals, you want to walk away with something. You want to leave that conversation. It's either going to massage your mind or it's going to make you think a little bit further outside of the spectrum of the conversation that you had, or it's going to intrigue you to find out more about that person. And man, let me tell you something. With everything that's going on right now, I say, listen, we got to find out what in the world is happening. I ain't on none of that. I got the scoop. Somebody dropped this and that and the third over my DM. I'm not on that type of time. I had to sit down and really dig in on this thing myself to get an understanding of what's going on here. We're going to talk about it right after this. Favorite coach back at it again. 10 toes down, I'll tell you how it all went down. This is Tomorrow League Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can get all upcoming videos. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and share these videos, and tap in a friend or two, tell them to come on in. It's never positive vibes. We're just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. But don't forget, make sure you come on in this thing. Get to it. Because we're going to go ahead, we're going to have a good time with this thing. And like I said before, I just had to sit down and get myself together. And I'm sorry I cut my monologue a little short because I'm just trying to wrap my mind around all of this because there's a lot that I had to process with all of this. And I got to be honest with you. The FAMU Rattler base right now, they are not happy. They're not happy at all as far as the things that's being said, things that's, happening around them right now with all of the different moving pieces that's happening, with their university. And they have a right to feel that way. But one thing I say is this. The FAMU Rattler fan base, they standing tough for their AD. They fellow alumnus. They standing tough for AD Suggs. Letting everybody know, hey, listen, y'all ain't gonna come over here and play these games with her. Y'all, we with her, we in these trenches. This is what's going on. And understand, we know what the real is. And, there's going to be some folks that's going to, they're going to feel how they feel. They're going to, they're going to give it to us in no matter what they want to give it to us, which is fine. It's okay. And it comes with the territory from time to time because everybody has their own way of thinking. They have their own interpretation of what's going on. But I'm going to be real with you. There's some FAMU Rattler faithful out there that feel like that dark cloud over that university right now. I'm like, they're trying to figure out what in the world is going on. The dark cloud is normally out there when the football team out there on the field. They don't need it going on right now during the offseason. They need it going on during the season where the defense go out there, kick some behind and get some things shaking out there. But you know what? I'll say this. I'll say this. With the changing of the guard when it comes to the president, a lot of folks feel like that dark cloud that's over the university right now is due to the fact of the unlucky number 13. And, a lot of folks, they don't like that number. They don't like that number. And I can respect that. But, the president, she's in office now. It is what it is. I mean, people feel the way that they feel. Folks have stood tall and they letting it be known how they feel. They're not sitting down just taking this on their laurels like, hey, we got this served up to us. We got to accept it. They're like, no more. No more. You guys are going to hear us. You're going to understand where we're coming from and understand that our dollars coming back to the university means something. But when we talking about dollars, we got to talk about the alleged accusations against AD Suggs. Arrested, what they say was fraud and theft from her previous job. And like I said, when I was sitting down with AD Suggs during the Celebration Bowl radio row, I got this feeling about AD Suggs that is so much more to her than what people really want to understand or wrap their minds around as far as like what she's all about. And I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't know until after we parted ways. I said, man, this lady here is phenomenal. We had a great conversation. I kept all of the drama and the BS from around her because, and you heard me say it in the interview. I was like, I don't want to bring nothing negative to this thing. I don't want to bring I don't want to even ask it. I didn't even want to ask no negative questions as far as like what's going on. I just want to get an understanding of what was her mindset as far as the direction that she's looking to take the university for them to move forward. And what I gathered from that is she got a plan. But one thing I did not know was how detailed this woman is. And I know you're like, Coach, what you mean detail? Detail? Man, you talking about detail. Give us a breakdown of what's going on. I'm going to give it to you. But you got to hold on. You got to, pull back a little bit. Just hold on. Just hold on. But listen. We hear individuals all the time, we hear young men. It's very frequent or very far and few when we hear the young lady say, I am her. We hear young men all the time, I am him. I'm him. AD Suggs ain't got to say I'm her. Because if you pay attention to how she move around that room, oh, she's her. She knows, she's her. And now you're like, Coach, hold on, what you trying to say? Slow down, cowboy, cowgirl. Slow down just a little bit. Pull back. Just pull back. I got you. Come, I got you. Here we go. See, one thing that I did was I said, everybody's just, right now, the conversations about what's going on AD Suggs is just a regurgitated conversation. I said, hey, look, let's find out a little bit more about AD Suggs. And the crazy thing about it is, a lot of what's going on with her or a lot of what she's been able to accomplish is all written in her bio. She came from FAMU. If I'm not mistaken, she worked with the university previously in a different capacity. Made an impact. Keyword, impact. Impact is something that you want to make wherever it is that you go, whatever it is that you do in life, you want to make a freaking impact. And when you make an impact on people, it's everlasting. And when it's everlasting, guess what they do? Say, man, you know what? I can count on AD Suggs. Hey, if I need AD Suggs, she gonna come on in and help me out with what's going on. Maybe I could partner with her on a few things, get some things popping, and we can go ahead and get some things rolling in the direction that's gonna really shake this thing up a little bit. That's gonna have folks wonder like, whoa, wait a minute, whoa, where y'all find this young lady at? Because see, I'm sure many of you didn't know she worked at Joe Robbie Stadium. And when I get to talk about Joe Robbie Stadium, I say, matter of fact, when I mention Joe Robbie Stadium, I can see some of my brown egg friends right now that's from Miami, Florida, because they used to talk about Joe Robbie all the time. Man, Joe Robbie this, Joe Robbie that. So I know they probably sitting there, they grinning from ear to ear like, walked and jumped on Joe Robbie. Here we go. He got something going on. Yes, I do. Because when I had to look at everything that's going on, I said, wait a minute. You mean to tell me AD Suggs worked at Joe Robbie Stadium when she was helping was it executive ticket sales or ticket sales for the Marlins, the Dolphins, and the entertainment that was going on, that happened at Joe Robbie. So she rubbing elbows with folks. She rubbing some elbows with folks. Yeah, she in there rubbing them elbows with folks. That means she's building relationships. She's out there, she's in the midst of everything that's going on, and she's learning exactly how everything moves. Because see, one thing that people don't want to talk about, nor do they understand. When you go to HBCU, guess that one thing that they teach you how to do? Network. When you go to HBCU, you're taught how to network. You're taught how to never be scared. You're taught how to go in a room full of vultures, make some things shake up, and you come walking up out of there with the intention. You come out of there with the intent of walking up out that thing, getting what you came there to achieve and get. And that's something that Ms. Suggs has been able to do for a mighty long time. And then we move over to FS Sports. If I make sure I got that correct now, just, Coach want to make sure you're on board with where you're coming from with everything that's going on. But before I get there, let me give you a quick rundown on Ms. Suggs so that you know. I want you to know this, right? Because before her role at the foundation, which is FSF, she held multiple leadership positions at FAMU. I stated this already to you earlier. She was the Senior Associate Athletic Director for External Affairs and Senior Women Administrator. She was instrumental in increasing ticket sales, corporate sponsorships, and royalty revenue for the university. FAMU athletic programs achieved significant success during her tenure with numerous conference championships across multiple sports. Now, check this out. No disrespect to the former AD, Miss Sykes. Now I understand why everybody was so up in arms when they passed up on now AD Suggs, AD/Vice President Suggs to come in there and do the job. I understand this now. Looking at everything that she was able to do and what she was able to accomplish when she was at the university. And then not to mention, you have one of your own that's there that love the university and the manner what she does, and she put her heart into everything that she was able to do and accomplish for the university to flourish. Now, I'm not going to say, okay, she gets all the credit for everything that's going on. I'm not saying that. But what I am trying to get you to understand is that when people are selfless and they're willing to do whatever it takes for them to achieve greatness, and those that are around them are able to go ahead and relish in the greatness that they've put them in front of for them to continue to keep moving forward, that's a beautiful thing. People don't understand that. That's a beautiful thing to have. I mean, like I said, it's kind of like the ace in the hole. Like you're sitting there, you got your spades hand, you daggone well, you got the 10 hand, but you need all of the cards to go out there on the table in the manner in which they go. And here, Miss Suggs, is that one card that's in your hand that's going to make sure you get that 10 if you play your hand right. But let me go further with this. So, like I said before, she got over FSF Sports. She's a sports executive with over a decade of experience in leadership roles within the sports industry. She served as the president and CEO of Florida Sports Foundation, which is FSF, since 2017. Suggs oversaw Florida's $74 billion, not million, not billion, not thousand, not hundred, not $74, $74 billion sports industry. She led the efforts in securing, hosting, and retaining sporting events and sports-related businesses throughout the state. She managed multi-million-dollar grant programs supporting both amateur and professional sporting events. I see this. I'm like, wait a minute, what? And now we got the alleged reason for why she was arrested. And I'm sitting here like, wait a minute. You got a woman that's amongst the elite, moving and shaking with all the multiple counties, surrounding neighboring counties, building relationships, lockstep, hand in hand. Everybody's doing business together, make some things work to continue to keep moving this thing forward. Because the state of Florida, don't get me wrong, as a youth coach, we travel from my state. There's teams that travel to Florida, if not three times a season, maybe 4. And now that they're doing this travel ball where you got teams that's going from state to state to play every week, I can only imagine. We're talking about preseason and postseason tournaments where you normally see teams leave from Georgia, where I am. They leave from Georgia and go to Florida to go play. Now you got teams, they're taking games in Florida during the season. So just imagine how much that money is constantly just turning over in that state. And I'm not saying she got her hands on that, but what I'm saying is that they're putting something together down there for the state to continue to keep flourishing from a sports aspect. I mean, the multiple Super Bowls down there, the multiple, they got there's the soccer championship, they got the grapefruit leagues with baseball. They got a lot of different things that's happening down there in Florida when it comes to sports. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, they got the Little League World Series that take place down there in Florida. I believe that's normally happening is it Orlando? So, I mean, it's just those type of things that you got to really pay attention to see what's happening. But I'm saying all of that to say, because I don't want to bore y'all with this. I know you're like, Coach, come on, man, get with the point. Give us the freaking point already, Coach. Where are you going with this? Listen. I got to be real with y'all, dog. AD Suggs, she's fire. She is fire. And people don't want to understand that. Why do I say that? Because the simple fact is, this woman has been able to move around with the elite people. and get some things happening that a lot of folks ain't gonna understand. But see, I had to give you all of that first for you to get to where I'm getting ready to go with what I'm about to say. Because sometimes we can just jump off the edge and say, hey, we're gonna do this, and really don't give you what's going on. Because I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there who want to kick the AD, kick her back in and make it seem like it's something more than what it is. But here we go. What I'm looking at here is an athletic director that was able to help the state of Florida make some moves when it comes to sporting events and things of that nature. And she decided she wanted to take her talents and go back to her HBCU because she felt that she would be better suited there to do more to help move the needle for her beloved HBCU. Now, there's a lot of things that's going on in the state of Florida right now that, we're all, as time go on, we will continue to keep learning them as we go. And I truly believe that this is my own personal feeling. I believe there's somebody behind the scenes trying to pull some strings. Why I say they're trying to pull some strings? Because of the fact that you have someone of elite status that's able to sit down, have conversations with people. They understand where she's coming from, and they want to do business with her. I'm sure whomever's doing the job now that she was previously doing, wherever she was at FSF, where she was previously, or the wherever it was she came from before. Ms. Suggs was the CEO. She was the president and CEO of Florida Sports Foundation, which is a 501c3 company. Now, she left there in October 2024, and she became FAMU's new athletic director. In October 2024. According to the Tallahassee Democrat, the investigation started a month later. Now, my question is, when she decided to leave, the state of Florida still got to do a background check to make sure that everything is, on the up and up as far as what's going on with her. And her, for her to, continue to keep working in the capacity in which she's working. There was no red flags, anything like that anywhere. But it leads me to believe, was this some type of intent because she decided she wanted to take her talents and move on and go somewhere else, and someone felt slighted? See, when you look at the plays that's going on right now with the university, you bring in a president that, I'm sorry, when I look at your resume doesn't show that you have experience with running a higher education, running a university. It doesn't show you have it doesn't show she has the ability to be able to run a university like FAMU, and with whom she's being thrusted to the front of the line to be considered for the job, and the vast changes that he's made and will continue to keep making in the state of Florida. It leads me to believe that this is something else other than, what she's being accused for. This is my own personal assumption. Because how in the world does someone move and shake in the manner what she does for so long in that capacity, in that world? There's been no problems, no issues. And all of a sudden we got an alleged $24,000 that's owed that was written up on incorrectly, as far as with receipts or whatever have you. See, when you start playing with folks, dealing with people that's dealing in big money, you get individuals that want to feel a particular way because they feel like their shiny toy was just taken away. I think with how the HBCUs are being done in the state of Florida, I think that people are trying to make changes. They want to make sure that these universities are not able to climb themselves out of the holes that some are trying to put them in, to keep people from wanting to involve themselves or want to invest into an HBCU. They'd rather see them go by wayside so that they can come in and continue to keep putting people in place. Because, see, the reason why I say that when I look at the president's resume as far as with being able to run a university. Someone like Miss Suggs, who understands the business in and out, that's going to be a conflict in some capacity because she was not picked by the president. See, the president going to want to come in and sweep, make a sweep in order for them to have the people around them that they feel is going to be able to move with them in the manner in which they want to see fit. I'm not saying that's what the new president is looking to do, so don't go putting them words out there. Hey, coach said you gonna come in here and just blow it up and just move everybody out. No, I'm giving a perspective of how that normally happens. I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I'm in reality. I don't have time to deal with the false negatives or the bull junk where we sitting here thinking like, oh, everything will be great. It's peaches and cream. Hey, everybody come on in here and get you some cookies and ice cream and sit down and cross your legs and, crisscross applesauce. We're going to kumbaya together. No, I used to think like that. You know what? A lot of you guys out there have shown me that it just ain't even remotely possible no more. So I'm just on that type of time where I'm looking at this thing like, you know what? There's some foolery going on up in this thing. And I'm not necessarily saying that and let me say it again, I am not saying that the new president is on that type of time, but I'm trying to tell you, looking at how this game plan is going on, it really makes you feel that way. Now, you may not think like that. I'm sorry, I'm not here to make you think the way that I do, but I'm just saying that, look a little suspect. How in the world a woman, how in the world AD Suggs over millions of dollars, and we talking about $24,000 was done with this done? Come on, man. Y'all got to do better than this. But looking at what's going on right now, I'm seeing a lot of the FAMU Rattler, as I stated before, family, alumnus, those that attend the university, they're standing with the AD. They're letting the AD know that she has their support as far as what's going on. And they got to salute them for taking a stand and letting everybody know, hey, listen, y'all can talk all y'all want to talk. We understand what's going on here. But it comes a point in time where I'm just going to say this how I want to say it. You got to slap the elephant on the ass and understand the elephant is going to scream as soon as you do it. Because the elephant don't like to get touched like that. And I think right now with everything that's happening with you had the AD, the previous AD, that was just an uproar with everybody. They didn't care for that. And you had the president with the jacked up donation that came in there, which Buddy did. I'm not even gonna go there because that guy makes my head hurt every time I talk about him. But and now you have AD Suggs who's coming in there. That's a beacon of light that's been able to make some things happen in the state of Florida since she was there previously, left, went and worked, where she worked previously, went to this previous job at FSF. Now she comes back home to FAMU, and we on this type of time? I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, people don't have clerical errors. I'm not saying that at all. But you wait a month, according to the Tallahassee Democrat, you wait a month after she's gone and say, hey, after she's already been named the AD/VP of FAMU, we're going to do an investigation. Come on, man. Enough is enough already. But salute to all you FAMU Rattlers out there that's standing with your AD. Continue to keep giving her positive feedback, uplifting her with encouraging words. I know there's got to be a trying time right now for her and her family. And I'm sure she got a great support staff that's going to look out for her. I'm not sitting here trying to regurgitate everything that everybody else has already put out there because I'm seeing the reports, ESPN and everybody else. Everything is regurgitated. Everybody want to go with whatever. I decided to take the role. I wanted to take the role where I can go find additional information, look at this thing for what it is through a different lens, and get an understanding of what's going on. Because there's no way in hell you're going to get me to believe someone is trying to do something crooked with 24 grand when they're dealing with millions on a daily. Millions yearly, not daily, yearly. Make it make sense. But hey, your favorite coach will go ahead and get up on out this thing. I just had to touch on that for a minute. Like I said, I could be wrong. I could be right. Either which way it go, AD Suggs, you were on my bucket list to have another interview with you. Once I was going to reach out to you. Man, I was getting ready to reach out to you this week for another interview, and then this happened. I was talking to one of my colleagues. I told him, say, you know what? I want to sit down and talk to AD Suggs. I kind of felt like we didn't get to finish our conversation because everything was so brand new as far as with her coming to FAMU, and I was given the opportunity to interview her during the Celebration Bowl. And again, I thank the folks at the Celebration Bowl for allowing me to be in that room to get that interview with her, because that was a phenomenal conversation. Also got to sit down with the MEAC commissioner over there as well, Commissioner Steele. Phenomenal interview with her as well. So that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get, I'm looking to get things moving as far as, certain stuff that has gone on. And I'm like, hey, man, I need to go ahead and get more conversation with that. So y'all leave y'all comments down below as far as, somebody that you might want to see me interview, have conversations with, get a little dialogue going on so that we can have some understanding of the direction that we want to go. And not only that, leave your questions as well so that, hey, look, I might pick a couple of questions of folks that's saying whatever that they want me to ask. We can ask those questions to keep things moving. But guys, Coach gonna go ahead and get up on out this thing. We had to go ahead and talk about the culture this time and not necessarily sports. So I'm glad y'all stuck around with me through all of this, and I appreciate you. But until next time, be the one and lead.